The killing of Jordanian pilot Muath al-Qasas Bey has led to fresh calls in America for an increase in the use of military force against ISIS, but also a rise in levels of anti-Muslim sentiment, which are already at very high levels in America for the past 15 plus years. But that's going up. And so President Barack Obama is trying to fight against that in a speech that he gave at the National Prayer Breakfast. Here's an excerpt.
But we also see faith being twisted and distorted, used as a wedge, or worse, sometimes used as a weapon. From a school in Pakistan to the streets of Paris, we have seen violence and terror perpetrated by those who profess to stand up for faith, their faith. Profess to stand up for Islam, but in fact are betraying it. We see ISIL, a brutal, vicious death cult that, in the name of religion, carries out unspeakable acts of barbarism. And so how do we, as people of faith, reconcile these realities? The profound good, the strength, the tenacity, the compassion and love that can flow from all of our faiths, operating alongside those who seek to hijack religious for their own murderous ends. Humanity has been grappling with these questions throughout human history. And lest we get on our high horse and think this is unique to some other place, remember that during the Crusades and the Inquisition, people committed terrible deeds in the name of Christ. In our home country, slavery and Jim Crow all too often was justified in the name of Christ.
I feel like Obama is 1 year away from being the guy at dinner who starts a story and then just trails off and never gets finished with it. But I do like his message.
I could not agree more. I said this the other day. All the speeches. I am so bored of this over talking, this complete lack of inspiration. Everything that I voted for this guy twice. And I guess I would have had no choice in retrospect. Still, well, I wasn't going to vote for McCain or Romney, so I probably still would have done it. But he is so boring at this point, and he's trying to do. I get it. Christians did terrible things. The Crusades killed a lot of Jews. Yeah. The Inquisitions killed a lot of Jews, a lot of other people. I get it. But you know what? That was a long fucking time ago. So it's not important. I understand. He's trying to be the great together guy, and that's what he did at the State of the Union. But it doesn't. He needs to just call this out for what it is. And when he says we have people of faith, I get it. Again, it's at a prayer thing. So, okay, we got to say we're people of faith. But I'd rather him say we people of decency. This has nothing to do with faith. We got a serious thing going on right now.
Right.
And I don't even think he's a man of faith.
He should say that more. I mean, he's going to do it at the National Prayer Breakfast. He's there with a bunch of people where he's got a quote on how many times he has to say faith.
Right.
You know, so
right.
So and to speak to, I mean, he's always been eloquent. I was never fooled by him being a great speech maker. He's always been eloquent, but never rousing to me.
I think he has two very distinct modes. He has I'm the president mode, and then he has I'm on the campaign trail, where he rolls up the sleeves and he talks much more smoothly, and he occasionally laughs and smiles at the crowd. That is much more engaging. I somewhat disagree. I understand that there might not be much value in bringing up the violence on the other side.
Nobody's denying. But that's the thing. Nobody's denying that the Crusades happened. Nobody's denying that they happened.
I think
right?
that
I mean, all right, good point. Okay,
he's in a tough position that he has to, he wants to show that there's balance, but he also can't talk about more recent, perhaps still fresh in people's minds, instances of this violence, like the fact that Christians committed the Holocaust, that they held on with slavery, that they bombed abortion doctors, and those sorts of things. There's Anders Behring Breivik.
I don't know that the Holocaust was committed in the name of Christianity.
Yeah,
though.
I mean, Hitler.
I've never really heard that until the last month or two. I know people seem to be saying that.
Hitler said that he was following the call of Christ.
I don't think most Nazis were doing it they were socioeconomic.
Well, they were saying
reasons.
it in German, so you couldn't understand.
That might be why. But I think this is sort of a new construct that the Holocaust was done.
Okay. I agree to disagree.
Okay, yeah, fine.
But in any event, I think that what he's trying to do is get people past the idea that this is purely a religious thing, that perhaps if they can convince Muslims around the world that their religion sucks, that will cause them to totally get away from the violence. It's a crazy idea, but he's dealing with millions and millions of crazy people in this country that are pushing for what? They say that they don't like his strategy with ISIS. They want more. Nobody will articulate it. Nobody in the comment sections responding to Obama. Nobody, John McCain won't even say what he actually wants. Sarah Palin will get up and say he's doing everything wrong, but they have nothing specific to
It's
offer.
on every issue. It's not just that. It's on right now Department of Homeland Security. I mean, how are we going to get DHS funded? You know, it's the same thing. It's the same thing as Obamacare. What's the other idea to the Affordable Care Act? We're waiting. You know that. So it's consistent that he's saying things and there's no other side. But at this prayer breakfast thing to start invoking doing things in the name of Christ and Christianity, there is a political, of course, he's the president, he's the politician in chief, but there is a political side to it, which is to get people thinking that it's not just crazy people on the other side, and that helps the dialogue that he wants to have or he wants to direct. I don't know that it's well advised, but it's certainly that's what's at play here, and that's how you have to play to this national prayer breakfast.
Yeah, I get it. He wants everyone to think everything's equal and everyone's equally as bad and blah blah blah, and that may all well be true. And religions mature differently and all came out at different times. So that's why Christianity went through its Reformation, and maybe Islam is going to go through it soon, perhaps. But I just think it's just silly. It's just, all right, big
But also,
deal,
yeah,
you know?
that's true. That's true. And soon, in the scope of Islam, could be like in 704 years. You know.
Right, and we don't have that kind of time,
No,
or at least
the
you know
thing,
what? The
yeah.
people in Syria don't have that kind of time.
Right.
Yeah. Whatever it is that's going to cause that transformation to take place, I have a feeling that our current military strategy is probably not going to be it.